his whistle for the very first time. It will be Leigh and then number 6, Adam Cook, who puts that big ball downfield. It'll be Wigan who have first touch of the ball in this battle of the borough. Ethan Havard leading the charge. It's going to be quick. It is going to be brutal in these early stages and possibly for the full 80 minutes. Listen to the noise. It is cacophonous at the Leigh Sports Village. Taken up by Walters. Leigh quick to their mark to keep those metres made to an absolute minimum if possible. And finally with Harry Smith, who releases that ball downfield. And Gareth O'Brien for the catch, who missed last week against Warrington, but is back tonight at full-back. One of 4 changes, 6 positional changes for Leigh. Wigan looking a little healthier in that respect, but they are both banging form at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what makes this game so exciting as a prospect, doesn't it? Tidy first set in defence from the Leigh Leopards. Just a note on Gareth O'Brien, very capable fullback, we know that. Davy Armstrong on the wing. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if Leigh manufactured during the course of this game a way to get him more involved in the middle of the field. He's such a sparkling attacking talent.
Well, we've seen him in the 3 quarters in the last few weeks, and he has been outstanding in that position as well, so we'll see how that goes. The catch here is from field. Leigh ready and waiting. Big win for Leigh, of course, for Wigan rather, back in the early rounds of the season, that 54 points to 0, but that history matters little on a night like this. As we said, they're both in form. Wigan on a 9-game winning run, if you include that Wembley final, and we live in an enlightened age, so why shouldn't we include that? And Leigh, 11 out of the last 13 that they have won. The only team to beat them in that time, Hull Kingston Rovers. Bevan French, the chip, and a bit of a chase. But it's O'Brien who catches, but French is up there to try and finish the job he started, and he's done very well.
Yeah, really smart, I think, as well, just drawing up in his senior winger, running the ball and then putting it into some space, making Gareth O'Brien work. And they've got Leigh Leopards exactly where they want them here.
This is Senior, looking to lead from the back. He's had a consistently good season, hasn't he? Ever present in that Leigh back line this year since his arrival. That's potentially a penalty. Certainly the Leigh fans thought it was, with legs in the air. Offahengawi has lost the ball, and the referee says it was lost. And there's congratulations for the Wigan defenders amongst themselves for forcing that mistake.
Yeah, Leigh Leopards blinked first, under all sorts of pressure, weren't they? Oliver Partington, last man in, I think, dislodged the ball. Great first contact from Brad O'Neill underneath the ball. That was the earlier tackle from Partington. Yeah, there's plenty of aggression here. The boys are up and about early.
Well, first slight advantage goes Wigan's way. Head and feed. And with it, possession inside the Leigh half for a full set of 6. Wardle. Brad O'Neill quickly across there. Kade Ellis on his inside. Oh, it hits Ellis' head and hits the ground. There's no way that Kade Ellis was expecting that. He's looked at his teammate in bemusement and bewilderment.
Yeah, remonstrating with one another. Kade Ellis thought he was going through on a line. Brad O'Neill, well, he wanted to hit him. He's hit the side of the head. Well, it's an opportunity missed for the Wigan Warriors. I was just about to say, despite all the noise and all the drama and all the build-up to what is already a fantastic event, Wigan looked really cool, didn't they? Really calm for the opening couple of minutes. Well, they're not immune either. They are human.
Win for them tonight takes them second, maybe temporarily. Wakefield above them on points difference. Playing tomorrow at Catalan, of course. Win for Leigh puts them very much in contention for one of those top 2 spots.
Here come Wigan. They've injected a bit of line speed in here.
This is Brogan. A scramble by those Wigan defenders, giving them absolutely nothing at the moment. Into the face of Owen Trout. Liam Horn up at dummy half, still short of that halfway line by a distance. Back with Lachlan Lamb. This left-hand side of Leigh's attack Strikes again. Hughes strikes through. Oh, he couldn't find the pass. There's a kick on. There's still a chance here as Hanley drops on the ball. But how many times do they open the opposition right side? Cook with a kick over the top. Marshall takes it, and Wigan will be very, very happy to have the ball back in their hands.
No, it was a really good break. Really good setup play by Leigh. We'll get a look at that, I'm sure, but the actions just does not let up, does it? Wigan working out from their own 10 metres and getting pushed back. Here's the breaks, just great shape. They were worried about O'Brien out the back. Hughes goes through the front door. Just cannot find the pass, can he? They cannot afford to do that too many more times.
Well, he's so effective, especially on that left-hand side as Lachlan Lamb. He's like a tin opener, isn't he? Just peels the lid on any defence. The kick is good, it's long. But O'Brien's done well with the reach. It's in his senior, looking to bring it back. And Leigh will start 15 short of the halfway line.
Yeah, they've done really well as well, haven't they? Yeah, I think that transition from making an error, they did finish the set, but then they've really poured some energy into that next set in defence against the Wigan Warriors. Their position here is pretty good. They're going to get a decent kick. They certainly are now. Penalty given away. They're going to get a very good lick at the Wigan Warriors line here.
10 metres.
Offside the decision. Yep.
Well, take your pick. Luke Thompson was stood right next to the referee, a yard in front. Partington, another culprit.
So Adam Cook sends that ball deep inside the Wigan half, and Leigh will now start with an opportunity to really press this Wigan line. Taken on by Liu. Here's Horn. O'Brien just drifting to that right-hand side. It goes beyond him, though, and taken in by Ofahengawe. Horn again. Big job on his shoulders tonight in the absence of Edwin Apapi, of course. Horn measuring up, 12 away. Ofahengawe given an invitation to have a run. Scored last week, a vital try against Warrington. It's back with Liu. Cook. Hanley comes in from that right-hand side with all his footwork and determination. But it's held up and goes down again. And it's a Wigan effort that puts him down for the second time. Penalty for Leigh, right in front of the sticks. Invitation here for opening points.
Yeah, look, they'll absolutely take the 2 points. And it's just that second effort. It's not much, but Hanley's actually the dominant. It's a really dominant carry. And it was just as Thompson got off, put hands on the centre. I think very, very early call, and the correct call to go for 2 points. If you get points on offer from the Wigan Warriors, you take them. The players are absolutely crashing. I hope this is coming across, you know, for people at home. They are absolutely crashing into one another. Joe Ofahengawe is not going to die wondering this evening.
Well, as was mentioned in the build-up, there is a bit of a grudge building between these two clubs, isn't there? The rivalry has been racked up a level or two in the last few years.
And we're so grateful for that now.
Adam Cook settling for the moment. Just using the arms to show the ball where he wants it to fly. And he does what he intended. And Leigh have that early lead by 2 points to 0.
You know, it's an important penalty for Adam Cook as well, because look, as impressive as he's been, certainly in the second third of the season, as Courtney and John were saying pitchside, his goal kicking has not been impressive. I think it's the lowest success rate in the competition, so for him to nudge over an early penalty be a real confidence booster for him. And you get the feeling, Dave, this is not going to be a game that's going to blow out one way or another. This is going to be nip and tuck.
So Harry Smith will get things started again. Lachlan Lamb underneath it, and inviting that first sense of urgency. Here's Horn. He has been starting a lot, of course, Liam Horn, but Ipape's been coming on to relieve a bit of the weight from his shoulders tonight. He's got Matt Davis on the bench. He'll have a similar job to do, but Horn, as a new player for Leigh this year, has done very well, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, I think he's tidied up his game an awful lot as well since his time at the Cassava Tigers. Yeah, you're right. He's the senior player, he's the senior dummy half. And as I said, he's a really busy player as well.
Last play. Lachlan Lamb's kick. Bit of field to cover by Jayfield. He's done well enough. Here's Hodkinson into the side tonight because of the injury to Kieran, but we've seen plenty of him to know he's got some pedigree. Marshall from the other side. Just heavy hits to try and take Wigan as far downfield as they possibly can here. So Neil again, who just dances out, and push from Hubbard is not going to take him too much further. Ellis, ball in both hands to keep the defensive line guessing, but that's the 5th, so here comes the last, and Harry Smith again is going to be tasked with getting that kick away. O'Brien watching and safely does it, and looking to bring out, but Thompson is up there quickly. Yeah,
conservative set for Wigan. They're playing behind the long kicking game, and again, there's not a slight on Gareth O'Brien. He's not got the pace that Davy Armstrong's got. He's not got the weight that some of the bigger fullbacks have got. He's a top quality player, but Wigan will probably feel they kick deep and put some pressure on him. They can really restrict meters.
A noise lifts again. Hughes. Here's off Ngawi, half through. Had a little bit of support coming his way as well, but he couldn't get it away. And here comes the last. Adam Cook's kick. Marshall watches for an age, has lost it. It went backwards, the referee says. Leigh fans furious, but Leigh players satisfied with the position they put Wigan in here.
Well, it was a wicked kick. I watched that through the air. Liam Marshall did his very best. He gets away with one, and he's incensed this home crowd. Referee with a call that went backwards.
Here's Walters. A couple of other games tonight, of course, both involving teams looking for the top 6. Hull KR 4, Bradford 4 is the latest score. But a long way to go in that game, and 0-0 in the other game between Leeds and Toulouse.
Well, that one didn't go to plan. Harry Smith sat on the short side. He ended up having to find an emergency exit route. It went to Liam Marshall. That's not in anybody's playbook. Liam Marshall shanked the kick. And the Leigh Leopards, well, they're getting some rewards. It was some heavy kick pressure from Amila Hanley. That kick wasn't particularly special, and the play's cut down. So offside as well to boot. So the Leigh Leopards, well, they're getting the rewards here for some hard work in defence.
Well, what a set potentially here from Leigh's point of view. Here's Liu, Isaac Liu with a push. 3 Wigan defenders trying to resist. Horn comes in at dummy half again. Broken down the middle. Horn, 4 plays to go. They're getting ever closer here. Cook again with a short pass. But there's no out ball for Trout. Oh, there is. He's got it away. And Liu will pick up the pieces. Straightening up, keeping it honest. Wigan push back to their own line again. Horn. Lamb flicking it out, quick hands, and Senior gets on the outside of 2 defenders and scores a sparkler. Leigh find the way.
Really sharp play by Leigh, got themselves into position. The shape and the setup is good. Senior finishes off. There is a pass in here from Andrew Badrock. Just his 4th appearance of the season, playing out in the centres. That is special. In his senior with his 10th, now into double figures for the Leigh Leopards. It's just a really well executed play. Got themselves into position. But take a look at this from Badrock. Catch, pass, and puts in his senior onto the outside, strips Hodkinson. The ball from Lachlan Lamb was pretty good. That was better. And they open the scoring through the boot of Adam Cook. Now they're going to try on the board in the shape of it as senior. And it has been a sensational start for the Leigh Leopards. Quarter of an hour gone, and you look at them celebrate, and why not?
Hasn't it just? Well, there's a happy coach, and quite rightly. They have been stressed out, as just about every Super League club has, stressed out by injuries. Missing several of their bigger names here tonight, but my goodness, the noisy neighbours are just giving it to Wigan at the moment, and Cook with a kick that goes right across the face of the goal. So it remains at 6 points to 0.
That's just, we'll talk about shape and execution. Innis Senior gets on the end of it, but you look at the shape and the depth that they have. Lock and Lamb, and he's got Cook on the outside as a foil. It's that tunnel ball that really confuses Zach Eckersley and opens up the space for Badrock to provide Senior with it on a plate. Just really smart stuff, really well executed.
Well, the noise is showing no signs of abating at the moment, certainly from the Leigh fans, who are loving every minute of these early stages. Say early stages, 15 minutes played.
Well, everybody's just fully engaged, aren't they, in this? It's a fantastic stadium when it is full. The atmosphere that it generates, and the players on the field are delivering.
Here's with the carry. Horn stands and waits. A dummy half again. And there's a little bit of a path found here as well by Louis Brogan. Ventured a little further than Wigan would have been comfortable with. Badrock. Here's Horn. News travelling with him, but Horn chooses to go alone. We're looking for a kick here, so it's onto the boot of Cook again, who just shapes. Oh, there's some spin on this. There is some spin on this, and that's why Liam Marshall drops the ball. Knock on. Well, not sure what Liam Marshall's claiming here.
Well, that's not gone backwards. The only thing he may be chucking a challenge in here to say it was a hand in. The ball was awful, wasn't it? Such a great spiral.
It moved so much in the air, and it was up there so long. He would have had an age to think about that. He might be having nightmares about that later tonight, but is there an escape clause?
Yeah,
challenge on.
The challenge is for a tackle off the ball, and it's all about the timing of the Leigh Leopards kick chase. It's whether Liam Marshall has had a free and fair challenge for the ball. There was nobody going to compete in the air with him. I don't think anybody else wanted to. And it's just Hanley. It's the right arm of Hanley, and has that arrived just a little bit too soon? I think Wigan have got a case here, you know.
Well, it's marginal, isn't it? It's marginal.
Yeah, look, I think this is what the captain's challenge is for, and I think that's a really smart challenge. There's a hand on Liam Marshall before he's taken possession, and I would imagine this will be a successful challenge. Yeah. Look, it's one of Amila Hanley's really good elements of his game. I think his kick chase is sensational. He's just overcooked it a little, and that's why Wigan get the get-out clause.
Wow, that was an escape. I'm not sure Liam Marshall's catching that.
No, he's not.
Even without Amila Hanley's hand on it.
No, it's not, and it's such a fine balance, isn't it, between applying pressure and just that temptation to reach out the right arm when it's cost them a real opportunity.
Milliseconds in it, but the right decision reached, and Wigan have a chance, instead of defending their line, but having a look at their opponent's line.
Well, make no mistake about it, they'll keep coming from Adam Cook.
Thompson. Brad O'Neill measuring up a dummy half again. Bevan French offering it back on the inside, and there's with a crash ball in. O'Neill. This is Smith. It's back to field. The defensive line was out quickly in the shape of Adam Cook, and he was left with no options. Ellis again. Just stoutly delivering position for this final play from Wigan. Harry Smith spinning end over end. Innis Senior trying to get there, doesn't get there. It's a knock-on by Wigan. Knock-on by Wigan, I think. And it means that Leigh will get the ball back in.
Well, it was really good presence of mind from Bevan French at the end of this play to strip from Jack Hughes, but the offence was previous to that. It was the initial challenge.
And here comes Senior.
And the Wigan Warriors again now, they'll be crashing into players. And sense have got an opportunity to try and keep Leigh away from there. Leigh have looked really dangerous.
We're only, what, 5 weeks away from playoff football, 6 weeks away from playoff football, and I think we'll get several occasions that feel like playoff football between now and then, and this is one of them.
Absolutely,
tonight.
yeah. This has got a level of intensity around it. It's not a regular league match.
Oh, that's a good release from Jack Hughes, which has got Holmes travelling. Was there a reach round the head? Zach Eckersley was innocent. Here comes one again, back it comes to Cook. It's another spinner. Liam Marshall is given another task. He catches that safely enough. Well done to him. And he's able to bring it back.
Yeah, they'll keep coming. I don't think he quite got the height on that. That's what incensed the home crowd. You think on second glance that probably did snake high a little.
Just a little update on the other matches tonight. Holkingster Rovers 10-4 now against Bradford. They're on the precipice, the edge of the top six. They need every win they can get, and Leeds right on the top of the pile, but it's only 6-0. They lead against Toulouse so far. But, as we always say, so early. Bevan French shapes a kick there, decides to take them on. Another set of six he's got as well. Pull back from Jack Hughes. So the gamble pays off from French's point of view.
Really clever from Bevan French. Just feigned for the 40-20. Everybody panicked and he set off. He had a tackle in the bank as well. Now they've got 5.
Thompson thunders forward. Colossus of a prop. O'Neill collects from dummy half. Smith switches the angle of the attack. Field left to Wardle. Wardle, we know all about his footwork, but so do Leigh, and 3 defenders across there, putting him down. But they still have plenty of tackles remaining here to Leigh to defend. Patrick Mago on the field with a push. The impact man has arrived. Plays the ball quickly. O'Neill goes running out.
What a tackle.
Right on the line. And this is the last. Switched out to Field. He changes it. Now it's with Smith. Smith puts the skates on. Chip over the top. French is after it. New gets there. And it's in goal. It'll be a dropout underneath the sticks, I think. 2
absolutely top draw pieces of defensive work. Isaac Liu with a second, just tidying up a dangerous kick. We get to see Isaac Liu just funneling across. He's playing in the middle. He's playing at prop forward. And he does enough. He's tackled and he's in goal because of that. But there was another tackle in there at play before. I think it was Gareth O'Brien. Try-saver on Brad O'Neill. Just got a bit quick for him for a second, didn't it?
Bevan French did well not to give a penalty away there, didn't he? Not taking Liu too high. The drop kick is just... Oh, it's gone out on the full. Well, it was watched carefully by Hodkinson and Partington. Both decided it was going out, and that's exactly where it's disappeared. So a penalty for Wigan right in front of the sticks.
Yeah, first misstep from the Leigh Leopards and from the boot of Adam Cook. There's no faults for 2 points here.
Here's French, laying it back for Eckersley to have a push. O'Neill marching up there, within touching distance. Back it comes to Mago, who just straightens up. But he's crumpled. O'Neill again. Thompson's made the dummy run. Smith goes out. It's Walters. He's got long arms, big body, but he can't twist out of what's coming his way.
Look at the numbers they're getting the tackle, the Leigh Leopards.
Wardle delivers. Smith carries. Ellis thought about the pass out back, but Lachlan Lamb had come out to shut down that option. Still 2 to go. It's Mago. And he's going to push and try and create turmoil here. But again, they're there in numbers. 1 play to go. Bevan French. Smith hits the shoulder of Cook, gets the ball away. Bevan French has it. Somehow keeps it alive. Ellis looking for the outball. Smith goes wide. It's Eckersley who has it now. And Leigh's scramble defence is massive. And boy, did it need to be.
Oh, it was excellent from both sides. The Wigan Warriors playing Haaland globetrotter stuff. A dozen pair of hands there. Bevan French popping up in all the right places. But the Leigh Leopards, with the crowd behind them, have withstood the Wigan challenge. Oh, what a brilliant opening quarter we've been treated to.
Absolutely. Well, we teed it up, and my goodness, we've got it, haven't we? Sensational game here so far. And there's plenty more rugby league, of course, to come this weekend. Starting with the NRLW 235 tomorrow, and you can see what's going on the screen at the bottom. Here's Mulhern, who's off the bench. behind the 40 when he delivers that kick. Liam Marshall will be happy at that trajectory. A little easier for him to deal with. And back he comes to a very decent Leigh defensive chase.
And they get a little bit of extra on it as well. Adam Cook just varying up the kicking game.
Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. There's no challenge this time. Has to accept the mistake. And Leigh accepts an invitation to throw everything at this Wigan line again here.
Oh, he's just caught Davy Armstrong's arm. And look, he did protest, but very quickly understood his error. He was just looking after the football, making sure you get that set underway. How it has ebbed and flowed, this game, end-to-end stuff.
Well, we talk about Wigan's run at the moment, 9 consecutive wins. This is one of their biggest tests in that run. This now is Hughes.
Well, they're playing against a side who don't fear them. You know, the Wigan Warriors, they do have a fear factor about them. A lot of sides go there mentally already beaten, not this bunch.
Liu Opangawe was running there as a bit of a dummy, but Liu takes it on himself. Horn again. This is Opangawe from a standing start. Wigan's defence responds well. Horn. It's Cook. Let that fly over his head. It's over on that right-hand side with O'Brien, the fullback. And it's Wigan's turn to defend one last time. Last play in the set. Cook's seen something, goes back. Hanley can't keep it alive. Marshall picks it up. And, well, he's back to where it should have been about 2 minutes ago.
There was a set that meandered and stalled from the Leigh Leopards. Didn't really have much about it. First time we've seen that.
My goodness, this is magnificent at the moment. And here comes Ollie Partington.
That's a good no-nonsense carry as well.
Thompson alongside him, just sticking that ball up under his shoulder and running as fast as he can at the big fellas who are coming his way. Ellis and now French, and he's behind the 40. And this could be interesting. It's all about the bounce, but Senior's back there to defuse possible danger. But look who's there again, Bevan French, chasing his own kick superbly well.
No, it's almost not fair, isn't it? He's just got far too much speed. The wheels on him are incredible. In his Senior's no slouch, and he's now having to do the tough stuff in the middle of the field. It's interesting, they're under a little bit of pressure, the Wigan Warriors. They went back to basics. 2 really strong carries from Partington and Thompson.
Oh, here's Armstrong is making a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to get him into the game.
Take a couple of bites to stop him. Cook again, looking for another 40-20. Again, it's tickling the touchline, but Field safely enough. And searching for him is Robbie Mulhern. Only 4 Wigan players behind the ball when that ball was played.
It's telling just the pace that's been played at.
And there's still quite a few ahead of the play of the ball when Eckersley brings it forward. Here's Ellis. That's an offload that finds Thompson. Thompson straightens up. Now O'Neill. Smith. Field. Well, this is tricky, and his own foot won't let him down, but he gets a second chance here. Smith on the last just pumps it up there. That's too long. That's miles too long. My goodness. My goodness. Well, there's a rare miscue off the boot of Harry Smith.
And for the lip readers at home, he's not very happy with himself.
We apologise to the lip readers at home if any offence was caused. Senior taps and goes. This is a 7-tackle count. Jack Hughes had his successes, of course, as a Wigan player for 5 years. Trout. You could see the determination there. It was just head down, eyes up, and just running as hard as he can.
Right, it was great work from Mulhern, wasn't it? It made a beeline for Bevan French as well. Isaac Liu now. It's been a good set as this from the Leigh Leopards.
They are gathering some yards here on the back of that. Lamb takes it in. It's with Cook. Cook's got company. Here comes in Cook. And Leigh will just hurl himself at the line. Couple of strides away. One play to go. It's a juggle by Mulhern. Keeps it alive. Cook opts for the kick. And Myler Hanley is up there, but it's Wardle who has it. And Wardle with the break. And Marshall in close company. Armstrong's there too. The pass is away. It is all about the pace of Liam Marshall. They're trailing it back there. They will not catch him. Liam Hall's wonderful effort. But I think it might have been bettered by the effort of Marshall. Referee has a look. He's going to give the try on the back of the evidence provided by the touch judge. They'll be looking at it in the background. But what a moment that was from Liam Marshall.
Liam Marshall, Wigan Warriors record Super League try scorer, pulled something out of the fire for the Warriors when it had its roots way down the other end of the field. It was a last tackle option. It wasn't the correct pass distribution from dummy half. The kick was a speculator. Hanley gets up too early. The skill from Jake Wardle to get this away. He's pulled down by Davy Armstrong. But once Liam Marshall gets in the clear, the head goes back. And even the covering in his senior, he cannot match the pace in the backfield that Liam Marshall offers.
Yeah, it was in his senior, he was trying to get there, wasn't it? I tell you what, that took some finishing.
Oh, this bit's classy from Wardle as well, just to keep that play going. The footwork to get him into some space. And then the wheels, the raw pace of Liam Marshall. He's missed a fair chunk of this season. Well, you wouldn't know it by the way he's finished that, would you? Game on.
Well, hang on. In the background, Liam Moore's had a look at this. And now we're going to a formal review. So let's hear from Liam Moore.
OK, everything's been cleared up to this point. You can see both players have eyes on the ball. You can see Jake Wardle pushes Hanley in the back once he's in the air, which stops him legitimately competing for that ball. You can see Hanley only just misses the ball. And that push is clearly enough to obstruct him making a genuine challenge. Therefore, thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, there you go. Who needs an eagle-eyed video referee? The Leigh fans needed an eagle-eye referee and are very pleased with that interjection.
Well, I'll tell you what, at first glance, just looked like Myler Hanley had jumped too early and jumped past, but Jake Wardle, for all the class that he showed once he got the ball, well, he obtained it by nefarious means, didn't he? A shove in the back of Myler Hanley. So the try chalked off. That's the reaction from the centre. We talk about switches and changes in momentum. Well, we've got another. What an utterly absorbing first half hour we've had. And the Leigh Leopards, well, now, this is no gimmick. We talked about Adam Cook's ability from the tee. Around 65% for the season. He had a sighter early on. This is going to be a little bit more challenging. He's a left-footed kicker, so it's the right side for him. And this puts them 2 scores clear.
Leopard print in evidence, smiles in evidence, but a little bit of nervousness ahead of this kick because it's a tough one for Adam Cook to give his side a 2-score lead should he land it. Wait for the reaction, wait for the reaction. That's all you need to know. Flags up, noise levels increased by a few decibels. Leigh lead by 8 points to 0.
Now, what a really significant passage of play that could prove to be. Intervention from the video referee, correct intervention. And this magnificent effort undone by a shove in the back from Wardle. Once they got underway, it was magic, wasn't it? It ended up as 2 further points in the pocket of the Leigh Leopards. It made some interchanges. Mulhern on the back of that one. Jacob Alec the other side of the field. Matt Davis on at hooker. It's all go here.
4 bodies just absolutely collided there. No, rugby league is a tough old game and we're used to watching it, but sometimes it becomes eye-watering. Hawkins Rovers extending a lead, 16-4, so it's looking comfortable for them against Bradford, and Leeds in prime position as well, 12-0 against Toulouse. Those are scorelines that will not surprise anybody. That drop of the ball will surprise Leigh, because Wigan give it a chance to build back inside the Leigh half.
Yeah, just a bit too much on the dummy half pass from Matt Davis. Just the third set they've not completed, Leigh. It's why that one of the reasons they've been so competitive. Well, they've erred there, and they hand their nearest and dearest another opportunity. A Wigan Warriors that have looked, in the limited time they've spent down this end of the field, it has to be said, very menacing.
Here comes Eckersley. O'Neill at dummy half. Thompson's pawing the ground. Could be the next cab off the rank, but in fact it goes beyond him to Ellis, and now Smith to field, and quickly does it to Wardle, and Wardle with a burst. Marshall, his lung-busting effort in vain a few moments ago. O'Neill gathers again. Ellis changing the angle of attack with a couple of right-footed steps and then the pass, and Smith scoots it back the other way. Bevan French. Offside. Offside against Leigh.
Offside, you don't. You've got to hit that line.
They're going to tap and go. Not interested in the two at this stage, and Thompson with that initial thrust. Here's O'Neill. Smith to French, try to smuggle that through. I think there might have been a Leigh hand on that. Yeah, well, it was knocked backwards by Leigh, but then it was kicked dead by Wigan, I think, is the rule here. Yep. Partington got boot on that, so it is a tap back on the 20.
You can't argue with that. It was, look, as clumsy as that looked from Lachlan Lamb, it was really important, wasn't it? 7 tackle set again. And they look in a real hurry, the Wigan Warriors, to get the ball to Bevan French.
Here's Davis, relatively fresh off that bench. Lachlan Lamb, just hammered forward again by Mulhern. Nobody seems concerned about personal safety on that field tonight. Cook again, quick hands, stepping in is Hanley. He's got Armstrong here, and Armstrong trying to weave a way through. Suggestion early in the week that he was touch and go for this game, and he's wearing heavy strapping.
Oh, he's had a really impressive stint, you know, as well. Isaac Liu.
Last play. Lamb inside ball, and O'Brien came from deep, but Wigan had him covered.
Yeah, keeping Wigan honest, but they had the answers, didn't they? Not a bad place to turn it over, though. And Partington with a cover tackle on the inside, and Wigan have to kind of come from deep here.
Marshall. Walters. Somehow got it away, but Field immediately is trapped when he got the ball. Patrick Mago. Running out of tackles here inside their own half. Bevan French and offering that threat and getting that flick ball away.
Oh, good recovery.
Just had his ankles taken.
He had to be good there, Lachlan Lamb.
Bevan French again, going for the unlikely. Down the touchline with that kick, but O'Brien collects. Oh! Brad O'Neill. Shoulder first. Referee happy with the contact.
Oh, shot of the night. It was an absolute rib cruncher from Brad O'Neill. He's won a few of those in his career. There's Gareth O'Brien. He's as tough as they come.
This is Davis. Hughes swoops it out. Innis Senior inside and out, and suddenly on his way. Wigan's defence confused for the moment. but quickly reset themselves. Lachlan Lamb's flick there inside was something special, and it means that Leigh are able to spread it right, and Hanley spinning out. Full of self-belief. Leigh going hard again. Lamb's kick. Trying to isolate the young winger, but Hopkinson comes down with ball in hand.
No, I mean, finished the set again in another marvellous position. There's some real skills, weren't they? They say it's the greatest show on earth here, don't they? We'll take a look at this from Lachlan Lamb. Just gets there, and they don't miss a beat, do they? And they've spoiled that by giving away a penalty.
Well, Leigh switched off there, which has given Jay Field the chance to make the break, and he might be going the distance. Armstrong's chasing, but Field with a quick tap, and Leigh's defence went to sleep. Jay Field wide awake and wonderful.
Well, it's absolutely top draw stuff from Jay Field. He races 70 metres, but I'll tell you what else. That was a criminal act by the Leigh Leopards defence. Adrian Lamb's got his head in his hands. Look at that. There's your reaction. There is that passage of play. They have been so good, so switched on until they weren't. The penalty given away by Mulhern just snuck out, came up off the ball onto Eckersley. The Leigh Leopards, well, they take 20 seconds off. There's nobody facing Jay Field, and once he gets in the backfield, well, I tell you, even Davy Armstrong can't get near him, goes round Gareth O'Brien. It's his greatest asset is his speed, but I tell you what, it's closely followed up by his game awareness. Is that a game-breaking moment from Jay Field? They have been under the pump for large parts of this first half. Well, their mercurial fullback has just got them out of trouble with something really, really special.
And he's a player that he brought to this country, Adrian Lamb, when he was coach of Wigan. He might be wishing he'd looked elsewhere now.
Well, it's further proof, isn't it? With everything we've seen, the big collisions, the huge shows of skill, the speed, the courage, you cannot switch off. Because if you switch off in this game, you get burnt.
Well, Smith sticks it over. 8 points to 6, and Leigh only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, we're talking these momentary lapses in concentration. You look at the Leigh Leopards that are not facing him. Isaac Lewis not even realised until Jay Field's gone past him. And once he's in open space, well, there is nobody, not even the fastest, can lay a finger on Jay Field. Speed, but also real smarts, real game awareness, and has put this game back in the balance.
What a time to score, what a way to score, what a time to score. Minute and a half to the break. Oh, the restart is offering complications. Here's O'Neill. Walters. Thompson. Ellis, and now Smith. There's Ellis again, a little shuffle away from the immediate challenge of Mulhern, which earns him and his side an extra couple of steps, but then he knocks on. Well, how keen are Leigh to get on with this now, because time ticking down. Do they fancy getting as many plays in as they can here?
Well, they should be trying to form a scrum here to get this clock stopped, and they just have now. So they've got 45 seconds here, 35 seconds, to try and do something, because they've been stung, they've been shocked in the last couple of minutes of this game.
Here we go, last 35 seconds of what has been an eye-catching, dramatic half of rugby league. O'Brien. Trout. Now is Davies out of dummy half, and Isaac Liu with a bit of making up to do after his switching off, he and his teammates a moment ago. This could be the last play of the half. Lamb stepping inside, looking to create something. Cook now goes out with plenty on that right-hand side, including Armstrong, who was going out of play. Tried to get the miracle ball back. Somehow did manage to get it back, but it amounts to nothing at the end. And what a fabulous finish to what has been a fabulous half. 8 points to 6. Barely tells the story of that wonderful opening 40 minutes. The Borough is buzzing, absolutely buzzing. It's half-time. It's Leigh 8, Wigan 6. It's going to be Leigh who'll get first touch of the ball in this second half.
Yeah, look, I think Wilco's bang right, you know. This first 10 minutes is going to be all important for both sides, particularly for the home side, for the Leigh Leopards. And don't forget the Wigan Warriors on this extraordinary run of victories. They've been facing down the barrel at half-times on 3 occasions already and come back to win.
They are a team that has so much self-belief built on the muscle memory of trophy-winning years in the last few years. Not last year, of course. Looking back, getting back to filling their cabinet again this, but Leigh, it's a long time between drinks since they were last crowned champions of English Rugby League. But here they are, showing that they are capable. Shaking things up this season, taken by Field on the end of that, and a run back to that 20-metre mark.
Yeah, it's a good first set though, really tidy, finishing a decent part of the field. And make no mistake, Adrian Lamb would have been absolutely fuming about what he saw, the picture that was presented by Leigh to Jay Field, as good as that was, the awareness that he showed, and he will not want another glimpse of anything like that this half.
Yeah, absolute gimme, wasn't it? Absolute gimme. Well, not a gimme. I mean, Jay Field still had to do something magical, but he should not have been given the opportunity. One play to go at the end of this opening set for Wigan. Ronnie Smith's kick. Caught here by David Armstrong. Now just have a look here at Patrick Mago, who was downtown. He was in front of the play the ball, but referee deciding he didn't have an involvement there, so just as well. Lamb out of dummy half, and Leigh on their troubles again.
And with that 10-minute period that we've been talking about, we're 2 minutes in now, fifth of the way there. And it's this sort of play, it's conservative.
Oh, well, Myla Hanley went running after that, and there was a collision between him and Wardle. Referee and touch judge see it, but decide that it was of Myla Hanley's making.
Yeah, it looked like 2 players chasing back for the ball to the naked eye.
I mean, Wardle's, does he have a sense that he's there?
He's not, he doesn't need to get out of the way. I don't think he changed his line, so...
This is Thompson. Brad O'Neill, who could well be wearing an English shirt at the World Cup at the end of the year. Bevan French, Jay Field, and wider still for Eckersley, who's somehow got that away, and Field will pick up off the bounce and smuggles away from stretching arms, but it's the chest of Owen Trout. This will be the last in the set. Harry Smith sticking it up there. And good take from Armstrong in that wing position.
Yeah, needed to be as well. Timed his leap from the ground really well. Myla Hanley's working really hard now to get a quick play the ball for his side.
Carted in again by Robbie Mulhern. Every yard is so hard to earn here from both sides' point of view. Liu to Lamb. This is Hughes. Was there a touch? No, referee says play on, and Bevan French given the keys to the door. And over he goes. Wigan supporters' arms stretched to the air. It is a gift wrapped in ribbons. Wigan for the first time hit the lead.
Like such great awareness, you know, from the Wigan Warriors. Hodkinson, I think it was, who scooped up on the pass, but it's Bevan French and the movement of this mercurial half. Just the anticipation he's got and the speed to put himself in the right position. Leigh decides to play. The ball from Jack Hughes doesn't go to hands. You look at Noah Hodkinson and then Bevan French. Just that transition from defence to attack. And it's been a disastrous end to the first half and a disaster of a start to the second. They got 4 minutes in and then decided to play. It didn't quite stick. And there is another reminder, if they needed one, that if you blink for a second, French or Field will take advantage. And this Wigan Warriors side have taken the lead for the first time in the game. And again, I think the Leopards have got only themselves to blame.
The F factor at play for Wigan. Bevan French with one of the simpler tries he'll score in his glittering career, but they all count the same. And Smith sticking it over. And 3 minutes before the break, Leigh led 8-0. 4 minutes after the break, Wigan lead 12-8.
Yeah, it's an offload. The offload was on from Hughes. It wasn't picked up by O'Brien, and then in the blink of an eye, Bevan French is racing to score underneath the sticks in front of a swathe of Wigan Warriors fans. I'm really impressed with Hodkinson, the presence of mind there to find the offload. He knows French is going to be there. He's always there. And they've had a double strike. 5 minutes either side of half-time.
Leigh having to show their character now. Having to respond to a double calamity before and after the turnaround. Wigan in full flight. Neil dances right, Partington comes back towards the middle. Ellis, Smith, Walters, and his way is blocked in a substantial manner. Smith manages to kick. Senior, it rattles the shins, but it's a safe pickup. He's trying to make the best of a bad situation, but he can't get out of that.
Well, the pressure was put under by Hodkinson and from Eckersley was something else. But I think the Wigan Warriors have fed on scraps here this evening. I think they've been denied bar 20 seconds of rugby league anything by this Leigh Leopard side. And that just goes to show at the top end of this game, you cannot switch off, you cannot blink.
Well, Davis went out a dummy half, and Myler Hanley went herring up, maybe expecting a pass, it didn't come. And Lachlan Lamb puts a big boot to the matter again. Field's catch, and Wigan are offering a threat down this left-hand side as Field dances in that direction, but Myler Hanley makes sure that nothing develops. Smith. Marshall. Smith again, and Wardle now will carry it on, and a bumping effort. Adam Cook does well to hang on. Ellis. O'Neill barking out directions, but he switches the ball to the middle of the park. Shea O'Connor on the field. Smith running away from the chase, and in so doing creating a bit of something on this left-hand side. Marshall's kick safely done by Mulhern. Lamb looking left as Wigan's defensive line just a little broken momentarily, but not for long. Badrock. Senior. Davis smartly up there again, and Isaac Liu comes in on the gallop.
That's another great carry, isn't it? Just when they needed one. His 14th of the evening.
Cook, just a little jab at this time, looking for a bounce that might prove awkward. Marshall gathers it, but there are three up there and ready, and also wanting to push him back, but Marshall does well to keep his ground. Harry Smith was looking at the pass, there was nobody there.
Well, it's a much better set though, isn't it? There was some harem-scarum moments in the opening exchange of this second half. Leigh Leopards seem to have settled down a little.
This is Walters. Still a match in which the two combatants are hard to separate here. Field. Brad O'Neill's had a good look around, and Matt Davis comes quickly out to try and get to Smith, but Smith is able to release the flight of the ball quickly enough, and O'Brien catches. Senior's there. Important matches elsewhere tonight in the context of that top six. Hull KR have just made a bit more of a gap. Hull KR 22, Bradford 10. Leeds were looking fairly comfortable and still are in their game against Toulouse.
Substitution for Leopards, coming up for 39 in clear. Coming on for 31, Lazarus for Leopards.
Lamb. Little delay in the pass. Oh, and it's intercepted, and it's taken on by Eckersley, and Eckersley will score in the corner here. No doubts about that. Twice he's been involved, one as supplier, and then as scorer. And Eckersley into finish, and Wigan suddenly have a lead that looks very healthy.
And another clean pair of heels shown by Zach Eckersley. I am super impressed with just how quickly they pounce on any indiscretion by the Leigh Leopards. This time, it was Lazarus Vialepu. His very first contribution after taking the field was to force an offload, which was pounced on by Wigan. Lamb showing the ball long, goes short, gets dominated in the tackle, tries the offload, and Eckersley round the back, picks the pocket, and then puts on the afterburners. I said the Warriors have been feeding on scraps. Well, there's another one that's been offered up. They are self-destructing the Leigh Leopards, and Zach Eckersley races away to score his 20th of the season, and all of a sudden, well, the pressure is well and truly on the home side.
Well, 22nd now in Super League. He's zooming up that table. And it's even more impressively, in many regards, his 9th try in the last 6 matches. And if you add all his efforts, 31 in total this year, including in the Challenge Cup. What a year he's having. And with Michael Sivo injured at the moment, there's a potential top spot up for grabs. Harry Smith's kick. What a start to this second half Wigan have made. He's put it wide. First miss of the night from him, but 8 points to 16 from where they were to where they are. What a turnaround for Wigan.
Well, look, and as good as Leigh have been, they've made far too many of these mistakes, and against the Wigan Warriors and Zach Eckersley on this occasion, they have proven to be ruthless and lethal and do not miss a beat. And Adrian Lamb is rightly cutting a frustrated figure, because they are busy pressing the self-destruct button at the moment. They've got to find that balance, Dave, and they've not got it right between a conservative set and playing with a bit of flair.
Yeah, architects of their own downfall on all 3 of the tries. And Wigan now with that winning scent in their nostrils. Wigan just keep coming and coming. Of course they will. Leigh have to find a response here. Still plenty of game time left in this off course. Taylor Kerr with a shuffle. Brad O'Neill. This now is O'Connor. Young player who's been impressive as he's emerged this season. Harry Smith can carry a stride or two, and Armstrong underneath this, but there'll be a bit of pressure coming his way. And Leigh have to start from there. Well, we heard that Matty Pete was not happy with his side in the first half. I wonder what Adrian Lamb had to say to his players. Megan Wellens.
Well, I managed to catch up with Tony Clubb about the half-time message, and while there was talks about great goal line defence but needing to get better with their discipline, one thing he said as well was, and they need to keep Bevan French and Jay Field quiet, and I mean, they haven't quite managed that so far, have they?
Well, every game plan, every week, I should imagine, John, when those two are in the opposition, everybody says, we've got to keep them quiet.
It goes without saying, doesn't it?
It's easier said than done.
Exactly, yes.
Here's Cook. Again, he's got wonderful spin on that. It corkscrews in the air and bounces away. Field able to take that. He's got Marshall there as well in support, but chooses to keep hold of the ball.
Look, it's a great kick and a great kick chase from Amila Hanley. They've got caught out on the short side, though, by Harry Smith. But this is an opportunity that you can build on here. They're starting a good area of the field, but they've just not been tight enough. The start of this second half has been really loose from Leigh.
Smith. Wardle now little dance as he approaches. O'Neill had a dummy half, and Bevan French again. He's behind the 40 when he lets that fly. It's over the head of Innes, and Innes has got some catching to do, but the ball and the bounce is kind for Leigh. But the chase from Wigan again, just not relieving the pressure at all. O'Brien. Oh. Another one of those for Gareth O'Brien to wear. It's the youngster Shea O'Connor who hit him hard on that occasion. Here's Mulhern. Cook to Lamb. Lamb with the ball. Oh, and what a read that was from Eckersley.
Gareth O'Brien's been like a crash test dummy this evening. He's been absolutely banjoed every time he's taken the ball.
Cook does well to get it away. Field does equally well to catch it and bring it back.
Take a look at this for a shot. For the fourth or fifth time this evening.
And we talk in glowing terms of that Leigh left-hand side. And it was beginning to start again. What Hodkinson did there, what Eckersley rather did there was pretty cool.
He hit him that hard, he had to pick his gum shield off the floor.
Smith. There's Partington. This is Bevan French again, that helps. The slip. Wigan on the last. Harry Smith again will put a probing kick in, looking for nothing more than that. Just roll the ball out of play, slow things down, put Leigh back on the back foot, let them think about the predicament they find themselves in.
Yeah, and sometimes a kick like that, you know, it's a psychological message sent to the opposition. Listen, we're really comfortable. We're going to roll this off, we're going to take 30 seconds, and we're going to challenge you to come from a very difficult part of the field. Gauntlet laid down to Leigh now. They have got to respond.
They don't need it quickly here, Leigh response. They've still got over a quarter of the game to go, but my goodness, they surely need to be the next to cross the whitewash. Oh, and again, just given away. Given away. Owen Trout's pass, I'm not sure what it was aimed at.
Well, it's inexplicable. That was never the ball. The setup was out the back. They had shape. That's an awful pass. Offengawi had absolutely no chance. And they're getting busy pressing that self-destruct button again.
Well, that look said, don't blame me, fella.
The problem they've got is they find themselves behind and without momentum. And it's overplaying that's got them into trouble. They're going to have to continue to play at least.
Wigan looking for what could be a crucial next score. 3 on the bounce. This is O'Connor.
That's a massive 30 seconds for Leigh.
O'Neill ready and waiting. Dashes right. Bevan French feeding it on. Partington's quick ball away. It hands up in the hands of Hodkinson. And he is certain. He scored the try. I'm not sure the referee is here. Has he given it? Yes, he has. But it will be checked. So close was it to that touchline?
Well, how damn good was that? Noah Hodkinson with a finish. But there was a series of hands in the build-up to this. And they all needed to be on the money, and they all were. French drifts over. It's short hands from Partington. The tip from Eckersley. Now, he's not an awful lot of room to work in, has he, Hodkinson? This will tell us more. That tip from Eckersley was brilliant. There's no doubt about it. Easy as you does it. Noah Hodkinson, who's got an absolute hatful of tries in the 10 appearances to date. That is 14th of the season. I said it was a really important 30 seconds, perhaps the most important 30 seconds of the night for the Leigh Leopards. Well, they've come up with nothing, and the Wigan Warriors now look in a really commanding position.
It is a completely different game to what we had in the 36th minute. And just that lapse of concentration has turned things right around.
Lapses, David. They've compounded error after error and never really got themselves back in the game from that first error when Bevan French pounced.
Smith's kick is just wide, but 8 points to 20. Representing a gap now, which means Leigh have to score twice and kick both goals just to draw level here.
Yeah, some really nice build-up work there, you know. Bevan French's movement across the line just holds Lachlan Lamb, forces the centre of the winger in, and just leaves enough space, just enough space for Hodkinson. See Lamb having to duck out there. By the time he gets to Partington, the ball is away. And then Hodkinson, well, his stock continues to rise. And the Leigh Leopards, they've got to apply some kind of circuit break here. They've got to cheat the system a little bit.
Well, there was bedlam in this place not that long ago. The noise abated around 3/4 of the stadium, but at one end, Wigan fans are beating their drums and singing their songs. And at the minute, seem to be moving inexorably towards a victory. O'Neill, Partington. Only a couple of easy yards there. Kerr, Smith. O'Brien. Oh, he's got fingers to that, but it's clearly gone backwards. And that has given Wigan the chance to advance a little further downfield. Hanley. He's looking at a wall of lime green ahead of him. Innes Senior carries it an extra yard or two. Born out of dummy half. Back it comes now to Offahengawi.
That's a good run. That's injected a little bit of life into this set.
Adegwayanki had a dummy half, and Leigh looking to switch again. Lachlan Lamb cropping up. O'Brien missing out and finding Senior on that left-hand side, but they rush across in numbers. Badrock back to Lamb. It's the last play. Cook. Up there's a circle of defenders. I think it was Alec Bianchi who got there first, but it's Wigan who come up with the ball. Liam Marshall winning it back for his side.
He's been put under some real pressure under the high ball all evening, hasn't he? That's a sensational take. Under, as you said, all sorts of pressure from Jacob Alec and from Amila Hanley, and here he is carrying out of trouble. Oh, shot again. Liam Horn this time.
Kerr. They've hit 5 plays, 1 to go, so the kick here from Harry Smith from inside his 40 metres, but directed towards the middle of the park. It's just the right power on that as well, because Leigh going to have to work from the back again. There's the score timeline, and you can see that lime green just dominating from the back end of the half and the early stages of this second half.
Yeah, look, the damage done either side of half-time. They're red, cruel bros if you're a Leigh Leopards player or supporter, but the Wigan Warriors just showing what they're about.
Going Trout with a push. Liam Horn has a look at what's ahead of him, fancies a dabble. And Cook. Jim Hughes closed down, but not closed down well enough. Spun out of two, very nearly did it again. And Lamb. But Wigan's defenders there are in numbers and effective. And the last play fizzles out for Leigh.
Well, Adam Cook was absolutely screaming for the ball on the open side. They chose to go short. Ladrock perhaps didn't realise it was a last. Lachlan Lamb decided he was going to run. And you're right, again, another set they would like again.
Well, it must have knocked self-belief, must have knocked confidence, what's been happening to them. Have to find a way somehow of restoring that. Luke Thompson again in typical style. Kerr. Ethan Hubbard felled, but Wigan pick up and find a way to move again. Harry Smith with a delicate little dummy on the inside, and then back on the outside is Wardle, and Wardle's battling well, but Myla Hanley wins it in the end. Marshall, and again on the last, so Smith asking a question of O'Brien, and there will be a penalty this time. Lazarus Varlepu stepping into the chasers. Will there be a challenge here? Yes, there will. Well, there's the evidence, which the video referee will be having a look
The
at.
captain's challenge. Leigh challenging the on-field ruling of an escort.
So challenging that decision of the escort, challenging the penalty. John Wells.
They're going to lose this. They're going to lose this challenge. I think they're playing for time here, Leigh, because it's unravelling. Lazarus Varlepu, right-hand side of your screen. You watch him step across Sam Walters. Just takes a glance over his shoulder and then a late movement. Yeah, look, I know Sam Walters played for it, but they're going to lose this. They're going to come out the wrong side of this. It's a step across. There's not an awful lot in it, but there doesn't need to be.
Unsuccessful challenge is what we are hearing. Decision on the field stands. Leigh lose their challenge, and they are losing the game at the moment.
Yeah, of course they lose the challenge. I mean, this is open and shut. It's a cynical step across. Sam Walters let everybody in the stadium know he'd been taken out, didn't he? But look, correct decision. And Lazarus Varlepu, well, he's been hooked. I don't think his involvements have been all that positive since he's been on the field. And don't forget, he coughed up the possession, forced the offload for the Eckersley try on 51 minutes. And if Harry Smith knocks this over, he's going to cost his team another 2 points.
And a big 2 points as well in the context of the game, because Leigh will be faced with having to score 3 times in the last 14 minutes. Oh, he's gone wide, he's gone wide. So it remains at 12 points, but he has put it dead, so the drop out on the 20, all things being equal, Wigan, you'd expect to get it back again. Well, Cook has gone for the short one, and it's knocked back by Walters. It's collected here by Offahengawi. Well, the expectation was they get it back again, but it's Leigh who suddenly unleash a potential attack here.
No, it's really direct stuff from Offahengawi off the back of that. Now they bought themselves a lifeline. We know enough about this Leigh Leopard side, Dave. They're not going to go away, are they?
On from dummy half, Cook on that left-hand side. Louis Rogan travelling well, but upended. Horn again, they want to get on with this as swiftly as they possibly can. Lamb back on the inside, and Trout now. He's trying to get the arms free. Wigan determined not to let that happen. Brogan. Kerr tries to grab and pincer him in, but it's kept alive, and Cook once more. And it Yankee 10 away, 1 play to go. Off Hangawi to Lamb, and Lamb is caught. Last play comes to nothing, frustration of the coach. Wigan do their job very well.
Well, they had to be smart there, Wigan. How hard it was who took the gamble. It was another set that started so well, wasn't it? The run from off it, Hangawi off the short, drop out, regather. But then, again, kind of fizzled out towards the end.
Thompson again, blustering effort forward, and look at the metres after contact that he's made. He's probably made about 10-15 after they got hands on him, and O'Neill follows that up with a scampering effort. Field wants it played quickly, he senses something's on. Here's Walters. Lest again. Harry Smith sticking it up there, O'Brien's after it, and Marshall just happy to let him catch the ball and then make the tackle.
That's a perfect set from the Wigan Warriors. Look where they're making Wigan work from, Leigh work from rather. Myler Hanley is facing down 3 or 4 Wigan players, and unfortunately for Leigh, that they're really going to have to start thinking about something different now.
Armstrong, well, we know about his evasiveness and speed, but there's just a solid core of defenders waiting for him. And Myler Hanley against his former club trying to make something happen down this right-hand side as well. Oh, and that's lovely stuff. Cook now, Hanley, but it's O'Neill who gets back across to make that tackle. 1 to go, Cook again. Liu's coming storming through, but Cook puts the kick up. And Wigan survived the scare.
Well, again, it was the wrong decision. They had to go through the hands. Cook put it on the boot, but there was no chasers there.
Looking to see this game out now, Wigan. Just make sure they do what they need to do. Thompson.
Yeah, look at the work rate that these Wigan players have got through.
That's such a quick play the ball as well, isn't it? Thompson hits the line, gets up and plays it, and allows this kind of thing to happen. Oh, he's lost the ball. So Leigh will get it back. It is small consolation.
So you can challenge a penalty.
There's a small contretemps as to whether there's a challenge going to go in here.
You can challenge a ball steal.
On-field decision of a knock-on, and I think they've thought better of it, of the Wigan Warriors.
That looks okay. What's the problem here?
It must have been before.
Yeah.
Where we picked the footage up, but, you know, the Wigan Warriors are in a comfortable position here, aren't they?
Is there a bobble here? Is that what we're looking at? Is that what the referee saw? Well, yeah. He saw it correctly. Trout.
They're set up for a shot here, Leigh left.
Horn. Liu and Lamb, and the short ball for Hughes. They were ready for it again, Wigan. All the options covered. And with a dash. Bevan French wrapping him up. But Leigh come again, and it's a penalty.
Yeah, it was a good piece of work from Liam Horn out of dummy half. And eventually they got picked up. It was markers, not square, was it? He's eventually been given, or interference, either way.
Yeah, I think a little touch from Bevan French was not a lot, but Liam Horn making sure the referee noticed it. And Leigh now, well, it is now or never. 8 minutes to go. 12 points behind. Score here. Cat amongst pigeons. High tackle. Another penalty for Leigh.
Well, they've got to come away at this visit with points. It's a high shot from Brad O'Neill, and another one from, that was Partington first, then O'Neill. Take your pick, who to penalise. Leigh have got to set something up here. Look, they've got the guile, they've got the craft. Lockie Lamb, Adam Cook, they've got to get on the ball. They've moved Gareth O'Brien, who's been playing fullback, out onto the wing. So expect Davy Armstrong to be involved in this.
Louis Brogan with a settler, 5 away. Now it's played. Lots of options wide on this right-hand side. Lamb puts it back. Cook's there as well. Little double pump from him, but it doesn't buy Owen Trout much room. Hanley. Isaac Liu, is he going to go direct? Yes, he is. And just keeps driving with those legs, but again, that position is set. Leigh on the left, but they've played a bit of a dummy run. Now they go left. Lamb again, drops it inside, and a hammering tackle on Armstrong. Horn. Brogan. Seemed like a little bit of confusion. This is the last chance in the set. Horn. Lachlan Lamb. Numbers and room here as a surging Jack Hughes goes close.
Well, it's great defence, isn't it? Noah Hodkinson, he came in, but he made the tackle stick. It's what he didn't do in the first half. He's done it in the second on Badrock. And you feel in that moment just the energy disappear out of this stadium, because I think everybody in here realised that the Leigh Leopards needed to come away at that visit with points. They don't do so.
Partington trying to put in some heavy labour. Is Leigh belief dissipating here? Mako just almost sending Liam Horn toppling backwards. Marshall.
Just again another safe set from the Wigan Warriors. Not really getting very far, but there's no risk taken either.
Ellis. There'll be a big booming kick here off the boot of Harry Smith. It is a very decent kick as well. There's some length on there, but Armstrong able to take it on the fall, which helps his side's cause. And in his senior on that far side, suddenly finds a raft of defenders in his way again. O'Brien. Well, that's sparkling in his senior try back in the 14th minute. Struggling to remember too many other times where Leigh have really stretched that Wigan defence.
Yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago. They started the game so well, but every single error and indiscretion has been picked off in ruthless fashion by the Wigan Warriors.
Here's Cook, puts it back to O'Brien, and Hanley almost making that breakthrough. The ball's gone to ground. It is just not sticking here for Leigh. It looks like Wigan are pushing closer, keeping that pressure on the top two, and in fact going second with what looks like a win here tonight.
Yeah, there's a warning and a message sent to everybody else in Super League. The Leeds Rhinos may be sat at the top of this table, but Matt Peake's men, well, they're gunning for anybody and all. And they see their destiny very much at Old Trafford in October, and you'd be mad to bet against them.
Well, two other games tonight, of course. Hulkingston Rovers against Bradford and Leeds against Toulouse. They both look like they're going to be home wins, but we'll be watching all those tries. After this game is finished, we'll be running through all those scores in those two games as well. And that's the as-it-stands table. Wakefield, of course, big game coming up against Catalan tomorrow in Perpignan. And that points difference is so tight, they fancy a win, and a win by a big enough margin to put them back second again. Ellis.
He's been good tonight, hasn't he? Just what he does after contact. Very rarely gets rolled back, always sets a platform for the next player.
Walters is coming hard again. Oh, it's lost, I think. Yeah, no, it's been lost. Great wrestle going on by those Leigh defenders to force the mistake. 3 minutes to go. Is there time, or is this game over?
No, it's good work from Liam Horn. He's been really aggressive in his second stint, trying to find something, to create something. for his team. You just feel the Wigan Warriors, they've looked so comfortable in this second half. 2 early scores, remember. French on 45, Eckersley on 51. And at that point, at 16-8, they look well and truly in the driving seat.
Well, they're still looking to trouble Wigan if they can, but Innis Senior finds no route there. Badrock up to play. Lachlan Lamb brings it on again. Owen Trout simply no way through. The pincer-like defensive.
Yeah, they've been so good. I was about to make exactly the same point. They've very rarely looked stressed, have they? You think you really sum up. I think Jack Hughes made a break, went through the line very early on in his seniors try. Other than that, nothing.
Well, Lachlan Lamb there, his famed timing over there, miscued, but the referee gives it as a knock-on against Wigan.
Yeah, it's come off the left arm of Eckersley into Adam Cook. So they will get another shot, but time is very much against them now. Hasn't looked fluid, has it?
No.
Hasn't looked fluid from Leigh.
And how much do you put that to the way Wigan have defended on that side tonight?
Yeah, well, I think you do give... I mean, look...
Well, there's a kick and a chase. It's a desperation act here. But Liam Marshall just very happy to take that in, knowing that time is with his side, concedes the dropout.
Yeah, smart for Liam Marshall. No chances taken, which I think sums up Wigan's evening. They haven't taken chances, they haven't rolled the dice. I think they've been excellent at the fundamentals. They have picked up errors and they have forced Leigh into errors and made them pay off the back of it.
Just going back to that point, that right-hand side of Wigan, the 2 young players as well, Hopkinson and Eckersley. And you might have picked that out as a potential weakness before the night.
Oh, absolutely. I came into this game when I learned that Adam Kieran wasn't playing and going, wow, you know, what an important player to be missing on such a big game. Well, they've made light of that, haven't they?
Trout can't get it away. Another set of 6 here for what that matters, because we're into the final minute. Desperate act from Leigh again. Has seen them lose the ball. Jay Fields just clobbered it downfield and goes chasing after that. Innis Senior's there too, but Innis Senior gets there first. Could have been another of those wow moments. Instead, it's Leigh who looked to plough it back downfield again. Off Hangawi. Lamb inside. Ball's gone to ground. Referee says play on. This is a Hanley. Off a Hangawi off the flat ball, and if the first one wasn't a forward pass, which it was, the second definitely was a forward pass. And that will be the end of it, because it's a scrub down. Congratulations for the Wigan coaching bench. Happy with the job done here tonight. They knew it was going to be a battle, the battle of the borough, no less. They were given a stern test in that opening 35 minutes or so, but a switch off from the Leigh defence allowed Field to score what proved to be a very important try. It has been all Wigan in the second half. They're up to second in the Super League table. Wakefield might still have something to say about that, and Leigh still a long way from cementing their place in the 6. One of the legends of the game, Norman Turley there, having a chat with Matty Pete, but it's finished full time. Leigh 8, Wigan 20.